today we are talking about the fighting stance. It's going to be a little different than that. Your fighting stance is going to be your foundation, where everything stems from. So you want to make sure you have a strong starting position, and everything else will kind of fall into place. If you don't have a strong foundation, to a house, what happens? It's going to collapse. So everything starts from our fighting stance, so we want to make sure we start strong from the very beginning, building good habits. Now, my fighting stance, there's multiple arts and fighting stances out there. Most of you guys should already know this. I have a little bit of a hybrid type of fighting stance here. So I kind of blend a little bit of like the Muay Thai stance, a little bit of my karate stance. It just depends on the situation here. So let's get into it. So standing from your neutral position here, feet are a little more than shoulder width apart. If you're right-handed, you'll do the same as me here. If you're left-handed fighting southpaw, you'll just do opposites of right and left there. So from here, you're going to take a natural step forward with your left leg if you're the same as me here. Okay, and you always want to be nice and light on the balls of your feet. So we're going to work from the ground up. You want to imagine like your feet are on train tracks here. If your feet are too close or on the same line, you're going to be out of position. It's going to be hard to balance here and rotate and generate power with your techniques. Okay, also same thing, if they're too far away, it's going to be hard to move. Okay, we never want to bring our feet together. This is like we're out of position too, so we want to make sure we're always in position. So one foot is going to be always in front of the other. I always like to get the visual of like I'm on train tracks here with my feet. Let me scoot back so make sure you guys can see me here. Okay, and I always want to be nice and light on the balls of my feet. This is super important here. It's going to make it so you're able to move a lot more effectively here, and you're always going forward with your techniques, right? If I'm ever on my heels, it's going to be hard and it's going to put me out of position again here. So always on the balls of my feet, kind of going forward. For me personally, depending on where I'm at, I like to start from a little bit of a sideways position here. Okay, so heels are off the ground. I'm on the balls of my feet here. I'm gonna have a little bend in my knees. These are like my shock absorbers here. This is important. If my legs are straight, the springs are all the way extended out. So there's gonna be no energy, no kinetic energy behind it. So I wanna make sure those springs are always coiled and loaded up. So I have a little bend in my knees here, always keeping my elbows in and my hands are gonna be up. Okay, they're gonna be open and about 6 to 10 inches away from my face. I'm gonna tuck my chin and roll my shoulders forward here. Now, I want to have a little rhythm to my fighting stance, right? We're humans, we're not robots, so we're not going to move all stiff and robotic-like here. So you want to have a rhythm to your fighting stance, okay? The more rhythm you have, the better your fighting stance is going to be, right? You'll be able to break that rhythm up too. So, chin tucked, elbows in, hands are open now on the balls of my feet, and I have a little rhythm kind of going back and forth here. Just staying nice and on the balls of my feet. If you notice, my knees are still a little bit bent, so any direction, I can burst forward, I can move back, I can go side to side, okay? I can really be fast and effective here in this fighting stance, okay? Then, think about a little bit of movement. So, hitting from that fighting stance position here, okay, on the balls of your feet. If you want to move to your right side, you're going to open with your right leg here, and you're going to match that step here and close the same amount of distance so you end in that same fighting stance that we just worked on. If you're moving to the opposite side here, same concept, moving to the left. You're going to open with that left leg, close with that rear side leg here, make sure you're ending that same fighting stance. Moving forward, open and close. Moving back, open and close. So I always match the same step here, so I end up in that same fighting stance like we talked about earlier. Okay, so a little bit of movement here looks like this. So I'm here moving around, I can move forward, boom, I can move back, I can move sideways, sideways. Notice that my feet, they kind of stay connected. It's almost like I'm gliding across the mat here. The minute I hop or my feet leaves, my foot or both feet leave the ground, I'm out of position, right? So when we throw a punch, we're gonna keep our feet connected. We never kind of bring that back leg up. You're losing a lot of power and you're out of position with it here. So you always wanna try to keep your feet as connected as possible, but staying light, kind of adding that rhythm and bounce here, so we can have those fast twitch muscles always engaged, right? So let's talk about our body positioning here. So the reason I'm gonna start a little bit sideways is because one, it blazes my body. It exposes less of a target towards my body. If I'm squared up towards you guys here, I have all this surface area that's a target. If I blade my body a little bit sideways, look at this. There's only a smaller portion of my body that is exposed. Number two, the reason I do this is if I'm a little bit farther away from my opponent, it gives me longer range weapons. One of my favorite weapons there is the jab. And look at what happens when I'm already sideways. I'm already in position and I've already pretty much rotated to get the most extension, the most length and reach out of my jab. It's gonna make it a lot faster, right? It may not be as strong or powerful starting from this front or forward position here, because you have all that rotation that you can extend through, but it's going to be a lot faster. It's that boom, out and back there. And that's really what your jab is for, right? To kind of cause a reaction, judge your distance, and just to snap it out there. That's what I really like to use my jab for. Also, one of my favorite techniques is that lead leg kick, right? So if I'm moving, I can just boom, fire that side kick, I can boom, fire that round kick here. One of my favorite, most effective techniques, we say like our lead side, there's our speed side. So that lead side jab, and that lead side kick, Man, very fast and effective, starting from this sideways. Position always goes off what you're gonna throw. What technique do you have in mind that you're gonna throw? Like I was just explaining, if I start from that sideways position, it makes my lead leg kick ideal and fast and effective. It also makes my lead hand jab very fast and effective as well. If I wanna throw a forward kick though, in order for me to throw a forward kick from this position, what do I have to do? Yeah, I gotta turn in to my fighting stance here. So if I'm gonna throw a forward technique here, I'm gonna be turning it to like a forward kick. And if I try to throw from here, I have to turn it anyway before I throw. So I have to cover a step before I'm able to actually throw the kick here. So it depends on what you're gonna throw, depending on what fighting stance you're going to be in. Okay, so if I was to throw like a cross or get ready for my cross, I can definitely throw from back here, from my sideways position. It's gonna be a little bit easier to read because it's starting from so far away, but it's also gonna be able to generate a lot of power as I rotate and drive there. So there's always kind of like a plus and a negative to every situation. You always get a benefit, and there's always like kind of like a side effect of that position there. Okay, and also depending on where the attacker is or where your opponent is going to be depending on your position of your body. Right? The closer my opponent gets to me, I'm not going to be sideways anymore. This is for a longer range type of style, longer range of fighting stance. The closer my opponent gets to me, the more I'm going to be squared up with it. And the closer my hands are actually going to be to my face here. Okay, the closer they get, the more I'm going to kind of tie it up into my fighting stance here. This makes it easy so I can protect my chin and I can bob and weave and slip out of position. The moment I cover distance though, boom, I slip, bob and weave, I'm back to my sideways stance, hands out, judging my distance, making sure that I'm in the correct position. So this is super important, depending on where the opponent is, your fighting stance is going to have to adapt too. It's martial arts, you always have to adapt to your situation. Not one way is always going to work 100% of the time. You always have to constantly adapt depending on what's going on in that situation, and your ability to adapt is going to make you successful. So you have to have a strong fight IQ. You constantly have to be analyzing what's going on in that situation and adapting to the appropriate thing or doing the appropriate thing at that time there. Okay, so let's do So that is my tutorial for my fighting stance. Hopefully I got a buddy coming in to train with me, so hopefully I can get some live footage in that and kind of just show you kind of apply live, maybe with some mitt work, and kind of just show you how I would do it, going full speed, working that stance and movement with some actual combatives, punches and kicks are in there too. So hopefully I'm going to get some good footage of that. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if kind of how you think of my views, my fighting stance. Let me know if I missed anything or anything that you kind of add to it there. Or just if you have any questions or comments, I'm always here for you guys here. So let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure if you like this video that you subscribe, like it, and comment. I mean, even if you don't have any comment, just say, hey, what's up? And I'll say what's up to you guys back. But I love you guys. Thank you guys. Whoever is following me right now, I think I only have 10 subscribers, but this is where the journey begins, okay? So I love all you 10 subscribers, and many more videos to come. I'm going to be doing like a Technique Thursday or a Technique Tuesday, maybe even twice a week if I get some good feedback with it here. But I'm a martial artist, so I'm always using my hands. But I'll see you guys soon. Later. All right, so we're just starting off from that fighting stance. If the opponent is a little farther away, just like so, and like I said earlier, I'm going to start a little bit more bladed here. The closer he gets, though, the more I'm going to square up, and I'm going to protect my chin. So if he throws any hooks, uppercuts, he throws any, I can bob and weave, I can cut angles to get out, and I keep my chin protected here. So we're just going to throw a couple ones from the bladed stance. So he holds it up here. So I snap the jab. And I'm already sideways. Oh, so it's easy for me to throw my lead leg, throw my knee jab. One more. Last one. Boom. Now we're going to go off of the opponent. It's a little bit closer, so I'm going to square up my fighting stance just like so here. And I want to make sure that my elbows are in, chin is tucked, hands are up, so I'm ready to defend in this position here. I'm just going to throw a couple twos here from this spot here. So, I'm starting to throw forward kicks, boom. I'm starting to throw my number two. One more, boom, boom, boom.